What's up, everybody? We're getting ready to do a deep dive into my book, Girl Get It Done. Finish what you start. Let's go.
Okay, let's unpack
Let's
this.
do it.
We are diving deep into a topic that, well, it feels kind of mundane on the surface, right? Clutter.
Right, but it's got these staggering psychological and physical consequences.
Exactly. We're not just talking about, the pile of laundry that seems to have its own gravitational pull.
The dreaded junk drawer, yeah.
We are talking about the mental stuff, the emotional debris, all that psychological junk that builds up and kind of keeps us stuck.
That's right. And for this deep dive, we're looking at Donna Sneed's book, Girl Get It Done, Clear the Clutter. Lots of insights there.
Okay.
So our mission today is basically to figure out why just getting started is so darn hard.
Uh-huh.
And maybe more importantly, what the source says about the actual psychological price you pay for keeping all that stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, how to finally start tackling it.
Yeah, and Sneed gets right to it, doesn't she? She says the reason that first step feels so, nerve-wracking is because we have to let go of what's become very familiar.
That familiarity, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the key phrase.
It's the comfort of the excuses, right?
Yeah.
The procrastination, the chaos you've just kind of learned to live with.
Precisely. And that familiarity, it's like this paralysis agent. You hesitate before you even start cleaning up, whether it's your room or your headspace,
Yeah.
because you know it means making decisions. And Sneed's point is, while we think we're just dodging a chore,
Right.
we're actually avoiding letting go of a pattern, a comfortable, ingrained way of doing things or not doing things.
Okay, so let's talk about that avoidance trap. Sneed has this really powerful question she kind of throws out there. She asks, are you really busy getting things done, like moving forward, or are you just doing busy work?
Ah, the busy work. Yeah.
Doing busy work specifically to avoid, cleaning out the junk that has piled up all around you. Oof, that feels targeted.
It is. And that idea of busy work is like the perfect lead-in to the real aha moment here.
Okay.
When we talk avoidance, we got to look at the impact, the actual measurable impact. Clutter isn't just background noise. The research in the book, it shows clutter directly messes with your basic functioning. Like it increases anxiety, it affects your sleep quality, and it really tanks your ability to focus on anything complex.
And I was really struck by how specific she gets about the coping mechanisms linked to avoiding the clutter.
Yeah.
Like she connects the stress from the clutter directly to things like eating junk food or binge watching TV shows.
Avoidance behaviors.
Yeah. Strategies we use to just kind of numb out and not deal with the actual stress the mess is causing.
That link is so critical. It suggests this cycle, right? The mess causes stress.
Okay.
The stress makes you want to reach for the chips or the remote,
Totally.
and that just keeps the mess going. It perpetuates the disorder.
But hang on, is that always cause and effect? Like, couldn't someone just be, prone to distraction or maybe already have poor eating habits and the clutter just makes it worse? Seems like a big claim.
That's a fair point, and it's a key distinction. The source isn't saying clutter causes every single bad habit, but it acts as this persistent stressor. It actively triggers these specific coping mechanisms. Think about it. Decision fatigue.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
When you see like 100 things that need attention, your brain just gets exhausted. Your cognitive resources are shot.
Right.
So making a good decision about what's for dinner or even just turning off the TV, it's way harder. The path least resistance, the junk food, the show becomes super tempting.
And there's actual science backing this up, isn't there? The physical toll.
Absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting physiologically.
Yeah.
The book notes that lots of people who see their homes, their workspaces as cluttered, they show measurable signs of higher levels of cortisol.
Cortisol, the stress hormone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when that's chronically high, it's linked directly to chronic stress, problems with memory, inflammation,
Yeah.
you name it.
Wow.
Those piles of paper, the projects you haven't finished, even disorganized digital files,
Yeah.
they're literally putting your body under stress.
It's kind of hard to wrap your head around that just familiarity, that inertia could actually cost you physically like that.
It's that constant low-grade stress. It's
Right.
not like a big scare, but it's this steady hum in the background that wears you down. And Sneed says, basically, start listening to your body. Pay attention to your body language next time you walk into that cluttered space you know well.
What does she mean, body language?
Like, notice how your whole countenance changes, as she puts it. Maybe your shoulders slump, or you let out a big sigh, or you just instantly feel like retreating mentally.
Ah, okay. I see.
Physical reaction. That's your body sending up a flare. It's saying, hey, I need some space here. I need to take action.
So it's like your internal alarm bell telling your brain, I need room to breathe, to focus.
Precisely.
Understanding that cortisol thing really elevates this whole task, doesn't it? It's not just tidying up. It's like a necessary health maintenance.
It really is.
Yeah.
And that immediate feeling of discomfort, that slump, that's the cue you need to start swapping out what slows you down for what actually helps you grow.
Okay, so this is where we kind of broaden the lens, right? Beyond just the physical piles.
Exactly. The source material is really insistent on this. Clutter is a dual threat, physical and mental.
Right. So the process of getting rid of it means assessing everything, every closet, yes, but also, she says, every thought you have hidden away in the corridors of your mind.
That's such a crucial expansion of the definition. We pile up mental clutter, just like physical stuff, don't we?
Totally, like old grudges or beliefs about ourselves that hold us back.
Negative self-talk, unfinished business in our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah. If a stack of papers means unmade decisions, then mental clutter is like unexamined assumptions or beliefs.
So the assessment Sneed talks about, it's got to be really comprehensive. You can't just, shuffle the boxes around. You have to look at the emotional weight tied to the stuff and the situations too.
Exactly. The book says the whole point of clearing this debris, whether it's an old toaster or a debilitating thought you keep having, is ultimately to move toward the finish line.
The finish line, meaning?
Meaning creating that clear, open space.
Yeah.
You need to actually display what is actually valuable in your life, your talents, your goals, your relationships, making room for the good stuff.
I found the part about emotional boundaries really insightful here too. The source acknowledges, okay, emotions are real, they're necessary, but we can't let them drive the bus, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to inaction or hoarding stuff.
Yeah, that's a fun line.
There's this powerful line about needing to learn to hear beyond what is spoken and even beyond your own intellect. What does that really mean, do you think?
I think it speaks to, intuition and real self-awareness.
Okay.
It means recognizing when your brain comes up with a really logical-sounding reason for keeping something like, oh, I might need this broken VCR someday.
Right.
But really, underneath, it's an emotional defense. You're avoiding the truth, which is that thing is junk, and holding on to it costs you space and mental energy right now.
So you have to kind of look past the surface excuse.
Yeah, and see the emotional avoidance that's actually driving it.
Okay, so if physical clutter messes with our cortisol and mental clutter keeps us trapped in these dishonest thoughts, we need a serious strategy to fight back.
Definitely.
We've established this isn't just superficial tidying, it's foundational work.
Absolutely. And once you realize the mess isn't just a messy room, but it's actually a source of real, measurable stress.
Well, the motivation changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has to.
But facing those dishonest thoughts, that emotional debris, that takes preparation.
Yeah.
You can't really go into that battle with a scattered mind.
Okay, that leads us right into the strategy Sneed outlines for actually overcoming that inertia, that feeling of being stuck. We're talking about replacing old habits with good ones, right? Swapping out what slows us down for what helps us grow.
So once we've kind of identified this mental and emotional junk, how does the author say we should equip ourselves for this fight against the familiar?
Well, the strategy is really presented as a mindset shift first, but one that needs a solid foundation. Sneed outlines 3 requirements for this big internal change.
Okay, what are they?
First, a well-made-up mind, which sounds like deep focus, real commitment.
Right.
Second, a dedicated will, meaning you actually intend to follow through.
Makes sense.
And third, as part of her specific framework, she includes prayer and faith.
Okay, and we should definitely note that specific combination mindset, will, and that spiritual foundation, that's her defined framework for tapping into what she calls the enabling power within the listener to get projects done.
Absolutely. It's important to frame it as the author's specific strategy. But that mental piece, the well-made-up mind, that feels pretty universal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Clutter creates decision fatigue. We talked about that. You walk into a room, see 40 things needing attention, and your brain just kind of freezes.
Yeah.
You do nothing.
Ugh, yes. The overwhelm.
So the strategy has to start with fixing your focus, getting that well-made-up mind.
And the very first action, even before touching anything physical, is self-assessment. But she adds something crucial, something we often forget.
What's that?
Grace. You have to give yourself the grace today.
Ah, grace.
The same kindness and understanding you'd give a friend, it's available for you too, right now.
That idea of grace is such a powerful antidote to perfectionism, isn't it?
Totally.
Because perfectionism is maybe one of the biggest reasons people have chronic clutter. If you feel like you can't do the whole job perfectly right now.
You just don't start at all. Yeah.
Exactly. So granting yourself grace just lowers that barrier. It means accepting that, okay, maybe a slow start is still a start. You don't have to overhaul your entire life in one afternoon.
That insight alone just changes the whole game, I think.
It does.
You take the pressure off, you lessen the stress, which, going back to what we said earlier, probably lowers that cortisol spike when you even think about the task.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The author reminds us that, the enabling power is sufficient for today. Fix your focus. Give yourself grace. And then you begin to make haste, which in her context doesn't seem to mean rushing frantically.
Right.
Well, like decisive forward movement, just starting.
And the immediate, super practical steps she gives are perfectly matched up, aren't they? Hitting both the physical and the mental to build momentum.
They are beautifully practical. First, grab your tools, trash bags or whatever, and just throw out the obvious garbage.
The easy stuff. Quick win.
Quick win, exactly.
Okay.
Requires zero deliberation. Second, and just as vital, empty your mind of thoughts that are dishonest and debilitating.
Debilitating thoughts, like those familiar excuses, right? I can't start now, I'm too tired, I don't have time, maybe I'll need this broken thing someday.
Exactly. All that negative self-talk. By tackling the physical junk and the mental junk simultaneously, you create this amazing flywheel effect. You feel lighter mentally because you stopped the negative loop, and seeing the physical progress reinforces that mental shift.
That momentum, yeah, that feels key.
It's everything. It shifts your life's trajectory, really, from being kind of dictated by old habits to being driven by where you actually want to go.
And the ultimate payoff is pretty clear then.
Yeah. Clearing the clutter around you and inside you will fundamentally change things by freeing up all these resources, this energy you didn't even realize you were spending just maintaining the chaos. Hashtag outro. So if we kind of zoom out and connect this all to the bigger picture, what this deep dive really shows is that putting off dealing with clutter, it isn't just laziness or bad organizing.
Right.
It's a genuine physiological and psychological stressor. We have that cortisol link, actual evidence that keeping clutter around puts your body in this constant low-level stress state.
Fight or flight, basically.
Kind of, yeah. So the solution doesn't start with some huge, overwhelming cleaning marathon. It starts with assessing yourself, confronting the mental space, the emotional stuff, before you even really tackle the physical room.
So, what does this all mean for you listening right now?
I think the source is just such a powerful reminder that, honestly, we make this whole process way harder than it needs to be.
You really do?
Usually by demanding perfection or just letting those comfortable excuses take over. But that enabling power to get things done, it's available. It starts with fixing your focus and giving yourself the grace you need just to begin.
It does take courage, for sure. But maybe that courage only needs to last for, the first 5 minutes to get you going.
I love that. And I also love how Sneed finishes by saying you need to make haste because you have much to present to those who are waiting.
That's a powerful motivator, isn't it? Thinking externally.
Yeah. Like if clearing your clutter, physical, mental, emotional, whatever, is the only thing standing between you and presenting your best self or your next big project or just the next chapter.
Yeah.
What inventory are you holding on to today just because it's comfortable, just because it's familiar? That's maybe your thought to mull over until our next deep dive.